didn't even realize Nakusp had a farmer's market. It's quite cute. They even have a busker. Cool. So when I drove into town, I was thinking, why does the library have a big paddle wheeler out front of it? It's because it's also the museum, and you know me. When I see a museum, I have to explore. And look at this. Controls for the SS Revelstoke steamship from 1902. How cool. Wonder if there's a plaque to show what boat this paddle wheeler is from. Maybe it's from the same one. So the local library and museum are all held in what is known as the Centennial Building from 1912. This brings me back, actually. I like that their library still rents out VHS. These are a lot of the old VHS titles that I would have rented out when I was a kid. That's funny. So much history in this little town. Look, and this area is like literally overflowing with little relics. Old farmhouse relics. Some more under here. Wow. This is indeed from the old SS Revelstoke from 1902. Very cool. The ship was burned in 1915, and I guess this, as well as the controls over there, were salvaged. I'm surprised this was salvaged, as it is made largely out of wood. Huh. And wow, look at this old wagon they have outside as well. That's so cool. Used on the Hohenlater farm. It's a cute little museum, actually. Hey. Portraits of ghosts. Bunch of pictures of old ghost towns. Towns that are no longer heavily populated. Hey, it's me, Graham's Landing.
Yeah, that's why we figured we'd do the library. This cool stuff, guys.
I can just figure out where Graham's Landing is. Here's a scale model of the SS Minto. Wow, it took 2 years for a guy named Mel LaRue to carve this at 1:40 scale. This steamer sailed till 1968.
People actually can't really read.
And
If it's any
these right here
closer to the wall, this thing is going to obstruct.
is right here. How cool is that? There's some more relics from the SS Minto, including a barometer, some lamps, and a spittoon. Nakusp, like a lot of smaller towns in BC, is a gold rush town. They didn't find gold here, but it was established as a port to carry the gold from local mines to a trail smelter. That's why these paddle wheelers are a big part of this town's history, being used to haul gold. Oh wow, and here's a picture of some people on the SS Minto. Neat. And here's an old record player in a suitcase. This is not unlike those Crosley cheap turntables they sell in the stores today. But this one is an actual vintage Victrola brand record player. It plays the old 78s. Interesting, it does have a speed setting, but it's not exact. It doesn't list the actual RPMs of it. It just goes F to S, fast to slow. Interesting. Oh wow, some old bottles that would have been filled with local halcyon hot springs water. That's still there, and it's a very popular resort to this day. This section talks about the rivalry between the Nakusp baseball team and the Burton baseball team. And then it has these trophies from some of their battles. As you can see, it would go back and forth. There's Nakusp winning it a couple of times. Here's a trophy won by a Burton team, Burton Bombers. Although this one is actually basketball. So apparently baseball wasn't the only sport they competed on. And this is a little memorial to Bruce Horry, who was the Nakusp star baseball player in the 50s. And it has his uniform and some of his equipment from the old Nakusp team. How cool is that? As well as a ticket to an annual celebration sporting event in 1933 and a membership ticket for another sporting event in 1923. Cool. Some very vintage hockey skates and equipment from back in the day from the old Nakusp hockey team. And look at this. Vintage precursor to a megaphone. And then this advertisement for a Dominion game baseball event. Cool, before Dominion Day eventually became known as Canada Day. Look at this old wooden curling rock. You can see them using these in these pictures. Very different from the curling stones that are used today. I wonder if this was just because it was cheaper in a small town, or if that's just what used to be used for curling. Also some of the old brooms from the local bonspiels. I used to curl for a couple of years in my hometown of Maple Ridge. It's actually fun. I'd love to go back and do some of that someday. Got some skis here. Look at this wooden curling rock. I can't decide that's there's also some very old bowling pins of varying sizes. Vintage golf club set as well. Wow. Cool. Tennis racket also. I love these vintage cameras and camera equipment. Kinda crazy that I film all these HD videos with the little phone that I hold in my pocket compared to this perfect scope, as it's called, from 1908. Look at the size of that. Wow. Vintage organ. I can't find any sort of date on this organ. I mean, the pedals on them say patented 1887, but that doesn't necessarily mean this was made then. It's just made based on that patent. Ooh, little mirror. That's me. And then this is really cool. This is sort of just dedicated to your average, everyday home life. Perhaps a good century ago. Maybe a little less. Maybe 20s. You got your radio there. Fascinating. Old vintage cookbooks in there too. I'd love to collect really vintage books. That'd be cool, but I collect enough things. My house is basically full. Old china. Better be careful in this area. Wow, look at this old clock. That must have been worth a lot of money back then. And it's probably still worth a lot of money now. Wow. Washboard. Oh wow, it's a little desk from the Beaton Hotel. Bed. Presumably due to its short length. For children. A little chest there too as well. Wow, and I love these old pictures. So many stories to be told by those pictures. Wow. Oh, and look at this little sampler made by Ellen Creasy at 9 years old in 1867. Wow. More family pictures up on this wall. Perhaps two sisters there. Getting the glare on their faces, unfortunately. Wow. And as a musician, this is one of my favorite areas. Look at this old, huge piano, but it's not really like the grand pianos you see today. Old drum stuff. Wow. Look at this old musical equipment. Nowadays, people put their band name on the big kick drum skin, but I kind of like this painting. It's a really cool little thing. It's got the hi-hat there and the snare. with the little snare brush there. Oh wow, an old auto harp. When I think of the auto harp, I think of like the Lovin' Spoonful from the 60s, but it's a much older instrument than I realized. Look at that. Also got some old violins and horns up on the wall. Really cool, wow. Old mandolin, too.
What was
So a couple of days ago, on my vlog, I visited Craigellachie, BC, where they drove the last spike into the CPR, Canadian Pacific Railway, and Nakusp is also a CPR town. Look at this vintage sign, the Nakusp 1 mile rail sign. You also got the Browse 1 mile rail sign here, and some old train industry equipment. And I like this. Look at the old coal burner from the Nakusp CPR station. Wow. Old telephone as well. Ah, the old signage that would have been outside the Nakusp drugstore from 1923. That's really cool. That's the kind of stuff I love to see. There's still a health food store there now. Not quite a drugstore, but still health related. Oh, I thought this was just a display of the signs that were on the building. This is the actual window taken directly from the building in the 60s. They can't say for sure that it's original to the building when it opened in 1923, but they're pretty sure that it is. This is a hand drill from the 1800s. This thing would have been amazingly loud. So this was found in the area. Apparently there was a whole battle as to who would keep it. The Chamber of Mines in Vancouver really wanted it, but the locals who found it thought that it should stay, that it deserved to be in the Nakusp Museum, which I think is true because it's a relic of local history more so than Vancouver mining history. I love these old comics, newspapers, old ads and such from back in the 40s and 50s. It's really neat. One thing I didn't even notice about these old ads is this one. Saying that more doctors smoke camels. Alrighty then. We have a vintage cash register. I always want to push the buttons on these things, but I would be thrown out very quickly if I did. Wow, look at all this old post office stuff, old letters. Wow. Scales, a calendar up there from 1937. And some old canned goods here as well. Gives a meal, man appeal. Okay. Enriches all meat dishes. Never heard of that. Wow, they have an old window from a hardware store. And they've put it like mirrored like this, I guess, to create the illusion that we are within the hardware store. Huh. Another awesome record player. It's an old gramophone. Neat. Sonora Company gramophone. Oh, cool. Bunch of old albums down here. Oh, man. I would really want to buy those if they were on sale. They are not, however. It's a museum. I wonder if this horn is from this turntable. I wonder. Wow, they have an SS Rossland in the making. Model. I don't know if they mean that they're currently in the middle of making it, but would you look at this? There's so much mechanism that I believe, yeah, this must be actually functional. I know that people make model airplanes that actually fly. I didn't realize people made model paddle wheelers that actually work. That's so cool. Wow. And look at this enormous model of the Bonington. This is the same scale as the boat I saw earlier. So this one's just heck of a lot bigger. Look at this old theater projector. Wow, that's cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of these. That's so cool. Used in local theaters. All in all, I'm very impressed by this museum. If you're ever in the Nakusp area and you're interested in history like me, you should really check it out. Look at this pack train into the mines. Wow, it's a really incredible model. Unfortunately, the reflection off the window is not doing it justice, but it's really cool. But yeah, this is a really well done and expansive little museum. Really glad I got the chance to check this out and show all you guys this place. Very cool. One of the things I've really been enjoying about this tour is just being able to stop in all of these little towns that I visit and being able to check out some relics of their history. So today was no different, visiting the Nakusp Museum. So cool. So awesome to see all of that. And then, so yeah, that's gonna about do it for this one. Got one more full day in Nakusp tomorrow before I head over to Nelson for my show there on Monday. Check out the description there for a full list of my upcoming performance dates, with many more always to be announced. And also in the description is a list of where you can find all my music, where it's sold or streamed online. Yeah, subscribe to this channel if you're enjoying these videos, by the way. You can also ring the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video, which will be tomorrow and every day for the foreseeable future. Yeah, like this video if you're enjoying what you're seeing. And yeah, we'll catch you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.